this repeatedly.
They did this repeatedly, as did General Flynn, but the irony is that they knew, and their communications reveal now, that they didn't even intend to get the results of those. They were doing it just to keep the investigation open for obvious political purposes. They talk about briefing Obama on it all on January 5th. They talk about it being an absolute nightmare. They talk about being so concerned about sensitivity and leaks that they probably shouldn't send the national security letters that they don't really intend to use, that they've been discussing that since August. They just go on and on about any number of issues that make it clear they had no basis to investigate General Flynn at all, that the directions were coming from top down on doing everything they were doing, and good agents were questioning every bit of it. In fact, they knew it was so bad that they all went and purchased professional liability insurance because they knew it would get pretty ugly, and if the things got FOIA'd or requested under the Freedom of Information Act, that the heads were going to roll.
You know, one of the things amazing to me, Sidney Powell, is how Barack Obama hasn't been questioned about any of this. He's sitting, our president, he's our president too, but our president today, he had to respond to questions in writing, and they didn't even have predicates for that investigation. Here we have Obama and Biden in that January 5th meeting in the Oval Office. We have some notes from that, thanks to you pressing the case and the Attorney General releasing them. So they have some, at least, initial fingerprints on this stuff. And Obama has never had to answer any questions, even from the press. The press has utter disinterest in this. I can assure you the moderator on Tuesday will not ask Biden about any of this. He'll just think they'll just think it's some kind of right-wing, we're chasing our tails. And then you're in front of a court, and I don't want to get you in trouble, you're in front of a court where the judge has already made clear his opinion. You went all the way to the circuit, and they shot you down. This has to be very dispiriting.
Well, I know we're right on the law and the facts. We've gotten more of the truth out by the day. That is one of my goals, and the other of my goals is to have the judges that are not doing their jobs properly expose themselves, and that has certainly happened. The law in a case could not be more clear than this one is. We were entitled to that writ of mandamus by all existing precedent, and the separation of powers principles, as you well know, foreclose the judiciary from doing anything other than granting the motion to dismiss the government filed. And not only did it have originally 80 pages of extraordinary exculpatory evidence showing that General Flynn was innocent and there was a baseless investigation and prosecution of him, we've got 50-some more pages now, and I think there's still more to come. And frankly, if Judge Sullivan had gone ahead and dismissed it like he should have, or even done so today, that we wouldn't be entitled to any additional evidence. But as long as this case is open, the government has a continuing obligation to produce Brady material to us. I would rather have my client simply exonerated now, but it's an ill wind that blows no good. So as long as it's open, the government has an obligation to continue to produce evidence to us as they find it.
Brady material, that is material that is about these various public officials and their conduct, and in this case, their misconduct. Why is it taking the government so long
to
find these documents?
Has done nothing to clean up the FBI.
He's the worst, isn't he? I mean, he's a disaster.
I am absolutely livid.
Yeah.
I am absolutely livid. Christopher Wray should have been fired yesterday.
Well, the president can't fire him yesterday. That would have been an issue, but he can fire him afterwards.
You can certainly fire him today.
No, but I wouldn't recommend that. You and I have a strong disagreement here. You want him to lose the presidency?
No, I want him to win the presidency.
Right, so he can't create a controversy on the side while he's trying to defeat, because the media will pummel the hell out of him. I have no problem with the president firing Christopher Wray, should he win, or not, after November 3rd. But today, no.
Well, they're going to pummel the hell out of him no matter what. But we need somebody in the FBI right now that is going to cooperate with getting the rest of this evidence out, that is going to deal properly and investigate Antifa and BLM, that is going to handle voter fraud issues appropriately.
Okay, yeah, we don't disagree. on that at all.
Yeah.
What were
and
you?
Ray
Were
is
you?
doing none of that. It's a whole different political situation.
As a matter of
now than it
fact,
was
as
when he
we've
fired
discussed
Comey.
here, the problem is now that DHS is having to do it because Christopher Wray's not. That is
And
the
that's
Department of Homeland
unacceptable.
Security. What is it?
That's completely unacceptable. We need an FBI director who is doing the job.
Well, I don't
And
disagree with you.
Ray is a problem.
Have you ever dealt with Ray directly? Talked to him directly?
No, but I know he was Andrew Weissman's supervisor and got Andrew Weissman the Attorney General's Award of Excellence for all his devastating misconduct in the Enron prosecutions and the Arthur Anderson case. And he was a friend of Comey and Mueller's and was going to jump ship at DOJ when
So
they
who
did,
recommended
wanted the
him?
Heads up. Rod Rosenstein.
So why would the White House go along with that?
I wish I knew. If I had known anybody then, I would have tried to tell them to do differently, but I didn't have that opportunity.
Do you expect more documents to come out anytime soon?
I do. I think we're going to continue to get documents until the case is dismissed with prejudice, as it should have been May 8th.
And when is the next hearing date?
Tuesday at 11 o'clock. It's
This
gonna be
Tuesday?
live streamed. Yeah, this Tuesday.
And what's on the table?
The motion to dismiss filed by the government. And the amicus, Mr. Gleason, has been allowed time to argue against it.
So what is it that the judge is going to exactly do at this hearing? Just let you
Well,
argue your point that you've already filed repeatedly and made it abundantly clear?
Yes. And have the amicus argue his outrageous points impugning the integrity of the Attorney General and trying to say why the case should not be dismissed despite all the extraordinary exculpatory evidence, which they literally just ignore in their filings. It's as if the Jensen investigation never took place, as if none of these documents were ever produced. Both Judge Sullivan and Mr. Gleason have simply ignored the now 100 and some pages of exculpatory evidence that condemn the agent's conduct in their own words.
Will the Justice Department have somebody there?
Yes, the Justice Department is going to have a member of the Office of the Solicitor General there and the principal deputy U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia at a minimum.
This is such an outrageous and bizarre hearing and case.
It is. It's absolutely.
I've never seen anything
unprecedented.
like this in my life.
Nope, me either.
You have a non-party to the case who has standing to do nothing, who's going to argue in front of the judge who appointed him?
Yes. Against the government and the defendant. So they're piling on against a criminal defendant.
So who does he represent, this Gleason? Who does he represent?
Well, that's one of the things that the appellate court asked. At least two of the judges on the Court of Appeals asked that and didn't exactly get a satisfactory answer because he's standing in the stead of the government to try to convict a defendant the government has said should never have even been prosecuted.
Is this something you'll say out of the box, like, Your Honor, who does he represent?
The Court of Appeals has already asked that, but obviously he represents the interest of Judge Sullivan at this point in trying to continue this prosecution by whatever means that he can.
But honestly, I'm not telling you how to do this because you're better than I am. But I somehow I get on the record, you've appointed this man who apparently is representing you, Your Honor. So shouldn't you at least recuse yourself? I mean, what is the ethical explanation for this?
Well, the Court of Appeals rejected that argument too, in a decision that is the most result-driven, unsupported.
But I still
legal
think it would
opinion
help
I've ever seen.
to get him on the record because you may wind up in the Supreme Court one day. No.
Well, there's no telling what kind of record I might need to make, so stay tuned. Bring popcorn for Tuesday's hearing.
Let me ask you about that, and I have to go soon. When you prepare for something like this, which could be the Wild Wild West, the night before and the morning you're going in there, what are you thinking to yourself?
Well, I just know what's right. I know what the law is. I know what the facts are, and I deal with whatever comes up.
Mm-hmm. I don't even understand all these ethical conflicts. The judge appoints somebody who's going to argue in front of the judge who appointed him.
Yes, it's absolutely ridiculous. And it's unprecedented to have that happen against a criminal defendant. I mean, there are a few cases where district courts have appointed amicus to argue a particular legal issue to assist a defendant. But there's no case that allows an amicus at a district court level in a criminal case to step in the shoes of the government to argue against dismissal of a case.
And I want the people to understand, judges have clerks, correct?
Yes.
So if they need to do research, they rely... What's that?
He has his own lawyers that work for him to research and write whatever he wants researched and written. Right.
So you really don't need to go outside the courthouse, do you?
No, he doesn't.
But apparently he read an op-ed and he found it very persuasive.
Oh, yes, he read the op-ed by Mr. Gleason himself and hired him from the opinion page of the Washington Post.
Has the judge ever admonished you for statements you make?
No.
And he better not. That's just my opinion. So he can't squelch the lawyer from talking. You know, we've seen these cases in the District of Columbia where they shut up Manafort, they shut up Stone. These men can't even speak for themselves.
Yes, that's been a real problem, too.
All right, Sidney Powell.
We have not had that problem in this case.
Keep us apprised, okay?
I will do that. Stay tuned, and like I said, bring your popcorn for Tuesday morning at 11.
All right, God bless and good luck to the General. You take care.
Thank you.
All right. She is tremendous.